Erev Torah B'Tei Chodesh Tov. I want to remind you, we stopped the last week talking about the time of Mincha. So we said, right, just to review very quickly, we said the earliest a person can pray Mincha is 1/2 hour after Chatzot Hayom, after the midday. Right now, in this time of year, midday is about 11:45. That means like 12:15, you can already pray Mincha. As we said, right, but it's better to pray before Shkiat HaChama, before sunset. Why is this better, by the way? What's the reason why? So there's a couple of reasons for this, They say that Mincha Gdolah, right, which is the earlier Mincha, it's not the right time in terms of the sacrifice, There was a Mincha sacrifice that was brought, Korban, So the proper time that it was brought was after, later on in the afternoon. So therefore it's not the best time. And this is why, some Chachamim say this is not so lechatchila, not the best way to do Mincha. But as we said, right, the yeshivot, they do it like this. They do early, 1 o'clock. Why? Because it otherwise interferes with their Talmud Torah, with the study, So because of that, they do lunch, right? Like 12 o'clock lunch. And then, 1 o'clock they do Mincha, everything in one shot. So then they can go back to learn, all afternoon without any interruption. No bitul Torah, for nothing. This is the reason why they do it this way. But for people who don't have this problem, so then, right, the better choice is to do before Shkiat HaChama. Also because of the Kabbalah, they say the Arizal, by the way, who was a great Mekubal over the last 500 years. What was his minhag? How did he do Mincha and Arvit? They say, he would do Mincha right before Shkia, right, and then do Arvit right after Shkia. Like the same thing as we do over here, pretty much, more or less, right? Plus, minus. Right, same thing. So why is this? So this way, right, that you're doing everything with the Shemesh, Also in the morning, right, when you're coming in the morning, as we said, right, you want to do nets. This is the best way to do nets. Sun is coming up, and then when the sun is going down, you want to do Mincha Arvit, right? It's always with the sun. Ima Shemesh, right? Iraucha Ima Shemesh. The pasuk like this, That's why I used to do like this. So therefore, this is the best way to do it, There's also other things, and as we said, but in the yeshivot, what they do is, they finish the whole seder of learning. There shouldn't be interruption, So what they do, they wait till 7 o'clock, they finish the whole seder, and then they do Arvit at 7 o'clock, let's say, like this, right? Because of the Bitul Torah. So Talmud Torah can get kulam, Learning Torah is more important than everything else. So that comes before. Okay, fine. So now the question is like this. So what about if you're a little bit late, Like sometimes, it happens to us also here. Sometimes we come late. No minyan, patach Eliyahu, right? This kind of too much time, right? Taking time. I want to tell you one thing, by the way. It's good to do patach Eliyahu. But is this really a part of the Mincha? This patach Eliyahu? No, it has nothing to do with Mincha. Mincha is a prayer. Patach Eliyahu is Limud Torah. Limud Zohar, Two different things, So one has nothing to do with the other. Why do I tell you this? Because the truth is, right, that if you're coming late, and there's no time, Shkiat HaChama is coming soon, you should skip Patach Eliyahu, go straight to Mincha, there's no time, You don't want to pray Mincha late because of Patach Eliyahu. Do it after, whatever, something like that, right? You can do after also. After the Mincha, you can do Patach Eliyahu. It's all good, Baruch Hashem. Limud Zohar, it's beautiful. It's a big mitzvah. It's a big zechut, But you have to do the mincha at the right time, So first mincha, at the right time. That's the most important thing. So if there's no time for Patach Eliyahu, skip it, What can you do, right? Right? Bedil vayavor, as they say, right? Skip it and go on, move on. That's the way it is, So Patach Eliyahu is good, Baruch Hashem. Limud Torah, Kaddish, it's good, It's a good thing, Baruch Hashem. But it's not really part of the mincha prayer. This is something separate. It's a limud. Two different things, Tradition. Yeah, tradition, minhag. It's good minhag. It's a Sephardi minhag, Baruch Hashem, it's a good thing. So, what about if you came late, a little bit too late, really, So then, when is the last time you can pray mincha, right? So, the truth is, that there's a big machloket in the poskim, the Geonim and Rabbeinu Tam, regarding what time does the day end, So this is the last time you can say mincha, So according to the Geonim, the day ends 13 and a half minutes after Shkiat HaChama. That's the Geonim, right? So that's already night. You have to the Kochavim already, So therefore, according to that Shita, according to that opinion, today, let's say, Shkia was 4:30, right? So last Mincha is 4:43 and a half. That's it, right? No more Mincha after that, right? Too late already, I'm not talking about, by the way, the Aleinu L'Shabeach, this is no problem, or Avinu Malkeinu, right? This is not a part of the Mincha also, Mincha, I'm talking about Amidah, Amidah, Chazrat HaShatz, this is the real Mincha. So you have to do all that, before Tzedek Kochavim, before 13 and a half minutes after Shkia. But Now here comes the question, right? There's also another opinion, which is the Rabbeinu Tam. So Rabbeinu Tam says, when does night come? Night comes 72 minutes after Shkia. Long time. More than an hour. Right? So according to that, you can still do Mincha at 5:30. Can you imagine such a thing like this? And they do, by the way, there's a place where they do. You know where that is? In Brooklyn. They go over there to Flatbush, to Borough Park. You see there's minyanim going on there, 5:30 at night. They're doing still Mincha at this time of year. How are they doing that? You know why? Because their custom is according to Rabbeinu Tam. That's what they do, Do they have what to rely on? In the morning, right, we said what they do is not correct, right? Remember we said, right? Not correct. That's not according to halakha, right? This is no good. But the truth is, what they do in the evening, they have what to rely on. Because Rabbeinu Tam, big shoulders, big chacham, But the truth is, it's not only Rabbeinu Tam, in the Yalkut Yosef, it says over there that there are 30 Rishonim, chachamim, who hold like Rabbeinu Tam. So it's not like one chacham, against everybody. No, just the opposite, right? Most of the chachamim go like Rabbeinu Tam. Most of them. And also, Maran Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah. How they paskin? Like the Geonim or the Rabbeinu Tam? Anybody know? They paskin like Rabbeinu Tam. So therefore, right, the truth is, Rabbeinu Tam is the Ikar. Ikar Shita is Rabbeinu Tam. You know what I mean? So now I ask you a question, right? How does that work? What's going on? But you go outside 5:30, right? Today, go outside. It's dark already. So what? It's still daytime? How is that?
Maybe they wait until 3 stars come up.
Right, but already came out 3 stars. It's dark. It's like you have to put on your headlights. Right when you go with your car, it's too dark already to drive without headlights. So what's going on? So the answer is like this. The same thing like happens in the morning happens at night. So what does that mean? In the morning, right? When does the day start? Amud HaShachar, right? Amud HaShachar. When is Amud HaShachar? Dawn. It's 72 minutes before Netzach Hama. Right? So what does that mean? You go outside right before Netzach Hama, 72 minutes, it's dark. So how is that the day starting?
So it's already started somewhere.
No, here we're talking about. Here, not somewhere. Here. Right? So that's the question. You know what the answer is? The answer is that when the day starts or when the day finishes, right? The light is so small that the human eye cannot see it anymore. It's too small. It's too dark, So it's there. Your eye cannot see it, but it's still not night. You understand? There's a very small light there. You can't see it. But we have a tradition, Masoret. That 72 minutes is the time. This is our Masoret according to the Talmud. So therefore, whoever does this way, he has what to rely on. It's true, Bemet. So the Hasidim, that's what they do at night, in the evening. They pray late. And I'll tell you something funny, One time, there's a store over here, like Wasserman's, right? On Main Street, right? Supermarket. Right? Famous supermarket. A lot of people go there. So, right, that, who opened the store, right? Mr. Wasserman, who is this guy? Who he is. So this guy is from Brooklyn, he's Satmar. He came from Brooklyn, Williamsburg. He opened a store over here on Main Street, They told me that when he was alive, he's already niftar, now his children took over the business. You know what I mean? They could have took it over. But when he was alive, what they told me, one person who used to go there, he said, Mr. Wasserman would close his store right before Shkia, Erev Shabbat. Can you imagine? Like today, right? He would close the store like 4:20, and 4:30 is Shabbat. Like this. Okay? And then what would he do? He would drive home to Williamsburg, with his car. Like this, And then, what time would he do Shabbat? After he takes a shower, right, gets dressed, it's already like, 5 o'clock, 5:30. That's when he starts Shabbat. How is that? Because they do according to Rabbeinu Tam. This is the reason, That's what they used to do. And by the way, this is brought down to Poskim, the Magen Abraham, other Poskim. They bring this down. But today we don't do this anymore, The truth is, only the Hasidim, they do this, But we don't do, why? Because we're afraid, of Shabbat, Shabbat is very severe, Chamur, it's very, very Machmir, so we don't want to play with Shabbat, what I mean? But when it comes to Tefillot, you don't have to be so stringent like Shabbat. You know why that is? What's the reason why? Because Rachameninhu, right? What does that mean, Rachameninhu? It's, it's prayers, you're praying for mercies from Hashem, So we're not so medakdik on Tefillah like we are on Shabbat. Shabbat is Isur Karet, Karet. Shem Yilachem, right? It's a very serious thing, You can't play with playing games with that. So Therefore, right, on Shabbat, we don't do like Rabbi Tam. Only when it's going out, we do like Rabbi Tam, when it's going out. But not when it's coming in, to be machmir, from both sides. So, what I'm telling you is like this, right, that if a person really, came very late, let's say, or he was home. Let's say he fell asleep, whatever. So the truth is, if he wants to pray Mincha, according to Rabbi Tam, a little bit late, he can still do it. Because he has what to rely on. Yeshua Mar Yitzmoch. So if he wants to pray Mincha, let's say, right, you shouldn't do this every day, all the time, because this is not a minhag. But if you want to pray Mincha a little bit late, because you woke up late or whatever it was, you fell asleep, something happened, right, 5 o'clock, it's already dark. And right now, right, see, look at the outside, it's dark already. But still, if a person wants to do Mincha at this time, b'diavad, he didn't, this is not the best way, but he can still pray Mincha, according to this.
What is better, to do b'diavad later in Rabbi Tam with a minyan, or by yourself as Yonim?
Yeah, that's a good question. The truth is, right, that, I'll tell you something interesting. Before I answer your question, I want to say something interesting, which is also has to do with this, right? In the Yalkut Yosef, right, he says over there that you shouldn't do, Mincha according to Rabbi Tam. Don't do it.
Even b'diavad?
So yeah, even b'diavad, right, exactly. Don't do it, he says, right? What's the reason why? According to what I told you, right, Yalkut Yosef, he's the one who says there's 30 Rishonim who say like Rabbi Tam. So why is he going against Rabbi Tam? So you know what he says? Because it says in Eretz Israel, everybody does like the Geonim, not like Rabbi Tam. Nobody does anymore like Rabbi Tam. They abolished this minhag over there. They objected. They went to the Hasidim. They told them, listen, over here, this is Eretz Israel. We don't do like Rabbi Tam over here. The custom is not like that. They told them. So in Eretz Israel, nobody does like Rabbi Tam. So therefore, right over there, Be'emet, it's true. It's Emet. Over there in Eretz Israel, you shouldn't do like Rabbi Tam. But here, right. Here, that they do here, the minhag is many people that do here, you're allowed to do. And the truth is, that if it's shatat chak, right, b'diavad, emet, the emet is, right, even if you're going against the minhag, once in a while, it's okay, that doesn't have to, you can break the minhag when it's shatat chak, and go according to the other. Yeah, you can do it, So the truth is, if a person has no choice, but, what I'm telling you is, right, one thing. Don't now make minyanim, right? Late minyanim like this, like they do in Borough Park, right? Whatever. It's not good for us. It's not a custom. But once in a while, when something happened, something, whatever, so you can rely on Rotin. So what does that mean? That you have 72 minutes after Shkia, still a long time, right? But now, because the day's shorter, it's a little bit less, like 60 minutes. Shal Zmaniot. Baruch Adonai Leolam, Amen, Amen. Rabbi Yochanan אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לעשות ישראל, לפיכך חיבר להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר לא יחפש למען צדקו יגדיל תורה ויאדיר. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, מעל מה דבר העיר ותהיה